love all people, even the people who fucking me over. And I can see good in all people, even the people who's fucking me over. But somehow you want me to demonize that man that's full of hate?
Right.
How? That's a Holocaust in and of itself. How they're doing Kanye.
Kanye is standing up for his no. Kanye is standing up for our Holocaust. And
This whole
people
thing,
who
our
choose not
right
to
to
see it,
actually speak, is a Holocaust all in and of itself. It's if we no further look at, we can't even support Kanye, or we all wrapped up in the same titles and we called all kind of shit. We may not agree with nothing else that man say.
we gotta. I
These
mean,
people are insane.
but again, we gotta understand how thoroughly conditioned we are as a people by society, right? Those of us who have done the emotional work, because this is mostly emotional work, right? Of separating ourselves from our victimhood by the system. You know what I'm saying? Like I am a man. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what this system has done to me, I am a man, right? And as a man, an American citizen, I have a right to say what the fuck I want to say when the fuck I want to say it. Period. Right? And we know that the system victimizes in the legal ways, in my opinion. Those people who say what the fuck they want to say, they silence them. They do what they did. They Kanye they ass, because that's the new verb. They get Kanye because his name is Ye, for the record. So people get Kanye if they say the wrong things at the wrong time. And I'm with any black American man or woman that is willing to take the L for saying what the fuck they want to say when the fuck they want to say it. I don't care what the fuck they say. And for the record, he said slavery is a choice, not slavery was a choice. There is a vast distinction between those two statements. Y'all need to stop letting the media tell y'all what people said and how to react to it. Go watch the fucking videos. And get over your feelings. He wasn't gonna marry you anyway. People fall in love with white people. I don't know how they do it, but it happens. I'm not capable of it, but other people are. That doesn't make everything they say after they fall in love with a white person illegitimate. You can tell the difference. Ain't Sterling Sharp with a white woman? Shannon Sharp, rather. Ain't he with that man-looking white girl? He a little shuffly, but he stay on point for the most part.
Is that the one that just told Stephen A. Smith that the white man was blacker than him?
Yeah. Shannon gonna say it. He say it real slick, like he's actually a master. He's one of the best. He's up there with Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is the GOAT of the truth of America. Maybe of all time. Yes, Dave Chappelle. This nigga is making hundreds of $millions saying the exact same thing Kanye's saying. And Kanye ain't never went to war with the transgenders and won. But yeah, my Holocaust is more important than yours, and I don't care who you are, where you come from, what happened to you, how horrendous it was, how because what they could depend on is the number of bodies within the brief amount of time. And then like 20 Holocausts in Africa have been worse than theirs.
Bro, we need reparations for our Holocaust from the Holocaust survivors.
Yeah. Who came over here and weaponized themselves in our Holocaust.
No, let me say it again. We need reparations for our Holocaust from the Holocaust survivors.
The Holocaust survivors that came and started being a part of our Holocaust. Because most of them, they were here in the early 1900s, but most of them didn't show up until after 1945. They were here because they're everywhere, because that's part of what they do. Just go everywhere. And I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at nothing but the victimization of my people. Whatever else you've done to anybody else is not my business. Need to start saying that my Holocaust is more important than yours, because it should be, in your opinion. You can't face a Holocaust and then prioritize somebody else's. You can't go to your neighbor's house because it's on fire when your shit's been burning for 400 years. Stop prioritizing other people's suffering over your own. And I don't care how good you have it, you're suffering in America. You're not making what you're supposed to make because you're supposed to own whatever you're working in. Because you should have a 7-figure inheritance that was stolen one way or another. And that's every single one of us. Actually, 8 or 9-figure inheritance if you count slavery.
Well, shout out to California for the $569 billion estimate over there, 223, I believe it is, thousand. So shout out to y'all.
Yeah, those are early numbers and just a discussion that somebody pushed. As the official report won't come out until June, and I think those numbers will be much higher. That was just the housing component. They're doing it in sections. Housing was first or second. They haven't done criminal justice or all the other factors of black life in California. Nor have they discussed those people who got pushed out of California due to the racism in California, because those people also deserve reparations. And that's at least 200,000-300,000. But Cali can afford it. One of the biggest economies in the world. Yeah, that's that 200 something. That's just for the housing, not for all of reparations. Just for the housing, just for the record.
Correcto mundo. But I like when people go and look up stuff. So yeah. I'll leave it open right where it was. Shout out to them for coming up with that organization. Shout out to them. Then they have to go and look it up. Then when they look up, they be like, "Oh, damn, that's only housing." And then they get to looking into what the other shit might be. I like when people do the actual labor, because they purpose. They be out there just saying shit. Y'all know they sent the troops over to Somalia for 10 months, right?
Oh, no, it didn't.
Okay. So are you aware of the war that's happening here in the Midwest?
I assume that it's like there's pretty much y'all gonna need concentration camps in a couple weeks.
Right. So there's something called Operation something they got going on up here. I forgot the name of this operation.
The feds are in the building?
Yeah, I couldn't figure out why they sent our National Guard away. So our National Guard is now Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Illinois. Now has our National Guard over in the East, in the Horn,
Oh shit.
for 10 months.
Oh shit.
The feds are here, and it's Operation something.
Oh
And
shit.
they've already, in my state, caught thousands of fentanyl pills, hundreds
So they
of
so they've been
automatic
funding
weaponry with
terrorists.
extended mags.
So they've been funding the terrorist shit over there with the drugs over here.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Remember I told you last year it looked like remember last year I told you it looked like I ran Contra over north?
Mm.
And you said, tell me when, let me know when it's Halloween if it's that bad. And I said, yeah, it's about to be that time. No, that ain't, we ain't got to do that. They the feds.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but they sent our military away and brought in the feds. We are definitely not okay.
You know what? No, you know what? Oh, this was the plan the whole time.
We're not okay.
No, we
Just
are
start
okay.
talking.
Listen, Linda, Linda. This was the reason to bring refugees was to trace back to terrorist cells in Somalia. That's the only reason they took the refugees in the first fucking place, was to bring some of the participants and track their movements to justify sending U.S. troops into Somalia. It's finna go down. We finna tear the horn up.
Right now, National Guard is there for 10 months, and that was effective last month.
Listen, the United States is about to be establishing democracy in the Horn of Africa for the next 10 years. You heard it here first. We don't do 10-month deployments. You talking about the United States military. That's what they're telling the public. They finna take one loss and send 40 other units.
Is this still behind that same Black Hawk Down shit?
Yeah.
This is all tied to that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We don't lose. I don't care how long it takes for us to win. We're not gonna lose.
Not you know. Well, I can tell you we found at least 10 terrorist cells here. I do know that for a fact. I know that for a fact. Over the years, we found 10 terrorist cells.
They brought them. Look, I said
they brought them on purpose. I'm telling you, they don't even understand. Y'all are literally concentrated in one fucking area. You think you did something because you got Ilhan Omar, baby? I was under Paul Wellstone.
Watch her today. Watch her crash and burn within the next couple months.
No. She's wrapped up in the 47 people that got indicted.
What?
Yeah. They're tying the funds to her campaign to that theft.
Ooh.
I'm just waiting on it to drop.
Ooh.
I know about it on the back end, but I'm waiting on it to hit mass media.
And, hey, them getting the contract in the first place was probably her doing.
That was the accusation.
So, yeah, watch it. Ooh, it's all finna crash and burn. It's finna get good.
And I'm telling Black Americans we need to get out their business.
Not only get out their business, but get into position.
There we go. Be ready, because they got to give us what they owe us now.
I'm trying to build some shit because Black LA wasn't in position when them tapes dropped.
Well, let's get it, because I'm telling you right now, they done deployed the National Guard. They done brung in the feds. They done start cleaning up these streets. They said carjackings is down 47% from last year. Murder down 17% from last year this time. They done got so many hundreds of automatic weapons with extended clips off the motherfucking street.
The police ain't fucking with the niggas no more up there, huh?
Oh, no, they done got some of them too. They just got one of the homegirls from Tango on the murder. I don't know what happened, but she gone.
I mean, no, proximity crime still happens. I'm just saying that, like, they not holding no punches. So the Minneapolis police don't have to really patrol the Black American community because now they got the Somalis to patrol. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's a lot going on.
Like that's one of the off benefits.
Northside got 4 squad cars, bro. 4.
Yeah, like that's one of the off benefits of it is that now they're lighter. If you got Somalis in your area, oh, the police ain't gonna fuck with you. Nah, the Somalis too busy for the police to be fucking with you. As long as you keep it quiet, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do.
On in here, that 47 people getting popped up definitely changed some things. They sent the because at first they sent the money. Remember, I told you they sent millions of dollars low key undercover to Somalia, and I was like, "The fuck is y'all doing?"
They was
getting ready. They was
Yeah.
prepping because the next thing you know, they was rolling out National Guard, and I'm like, "Wait a minute." And I'm asking around, like, "Yo, did y'all know they sent the National Guard from Minnesota to Somalia and then fuck my peoples in Wisconsin and Illinois?" Like, shit, I thought it was just us. I'm like, wait a minute.
The United States don't negotiate with terrorists. They set them up. So they set their ass up. Oh yeah, we'll let your terrorist ass in and watch you for a couple of years.
So they let them in to kill our people
and build cases,
displace our people.
They don't give a fuck about. They don't give a fuck about. Yeah.
So this is. They brought them people here beginning around 1990, begin displacing us, misplacing other people in our positions, removed us out of congressional position, gave these people a whole section of our community, displacing us further, spreading us out more, disenfranchising us economically. We now receive 15% of our own disbursements of civil rights. And then you turn around and flood them same people you just used to displace us with drugs. They turn around and steal all this money. And now we in a whole freaking war from the Midwest to the Horn of fucking Africa, extracting more resources from a black community that ain't got shit. Just make this make sense.
Thing you just said makes perfect sense. It's beautiful. It's well orchestrated, 2 for 1. You looking at it from the perspective of the affected or the harmed,
right?
But from the perspective of the harmer, shit is beautiful.
Yeah,
poetry and motion.
Yeah, man, 2 birds like a motherfucker, right? Erase the people that we don't want to pay.
Right. So we have to stop thinking from a defensive perspective and start thinking from an offensive perspective. We have to start thinking about how to formulate and craft ingenious plots like that for our benefit.
And it starts with learning the process. Any little look, like the learning the wrong way to do it and the right way to do it.
Man, listen,
y'all ever encountered a black American that got a $200 million contract from the government to feed people? How many black Americans?
No.
How many black Americans you know out here feeding people?
Prince dead.
I don't even talk about the celebrities and the people with a bag. I'm talking about the poor people out in the community still feeding other poor people. And you poor,
the church.
And you poor if you move to the suburbs, you still poor. If you move to the suburbs,
the church got it. The church feed people. You get, but they ain't getting even a $250 million. They not even getting a $250 million government bag amongst each other.
I'm thinking of
every church up in this cold fucking state, and I don't think they got a $250 million.
I'm thinking of my pastor. He's still my pastor, even though I moved. Who has spent the last 15 years at least a quarter of his time annually on the streets of Chicago feeding the homeless and clothing the homeless and giving them like all the stuff that they need to survive while they out there, and building homeless shelters that he all out of his own pocket because the church itself would not fund his efforts, and the church itself could not fund his efforts, right? So he's poor because he's been taking care of poor people for 15 years, right? Ain't nobody $200 million. I'm actually planning on going back and helping him get some grants. Now that I've learned to process.
Yeah, that 200 million is going to cost them unfathomable amount of everything.
Oh yeah, they finna decimate that fucking community. It ain't gonna be nothing but single Somali mothers left.
And I told the Somali kid, man, like we was going back and forth a couple months ago, and he really thinks like Somalia. I'll tell you, out of all the African countries, the U.S. has the most military bases in Somalia. I say, you think that's for just because we like Somalians or some shit? No, man. We there keeping an eye on you motherfuckers, man.
No more. It's more than keeping an eye. They making sure they've been building up. Then I didn't know that.
Right.
Yeah, they've been building up. They've been planning this shit since they let their ass in.
Right. Hey, that Black Hawk Down, they like to come in here and brag about dragging you as soldiers. I was like, boy, you should keep quiet, man.
Hey, it's 6 to 4,000 right now. Wait till we done. Wait till we done. We ain't even got started yet. Y'all, it's finna get ugly. And I ain't hitting the streets and protest a shit. Go USA.
Damn straight. Shit. I'm with the country my forefathers died for.
Look, I'm finna lead the charge to send them home or lock them up.
I'm about to re-enlist. Shit.
Because Somali males are dangerous, bro. And here's the thing is that they're mostly betas and they have alphas, and the alphas are violent as fuck, right? And so it's going to be the very seldom Somali male that stays out of it. Like they ain't smart enough to just surrender. They ain't gonna recognize what they up against because they done kicked out a couple of other countries that ain't quite as capable of as the United States military. So they really think they can win. They finna, because this is what they want. Somali been spoiling for a war with the West since their foundation. This is what they want. They trying to get wiped out. It ain't gonna be nothing but Somali single mothers left.
And all them Somalis on this app, like Sultan, who've been talking all that terroristic shit against the United States.
Oh, he already locked up. That's why we ain't heard from him. He gone.
He probably gone already.
Yeah, he gone already. They just ain't told us yet. All them niggas gone. Look, the American side of Somali terrorist activity is somewhere in Guantanamo Bay right now. Or on their way, somewhere, or sitting in Hennepin County Jail, so they can get that federal funding because they getting extra federal funding for holding those federal prisoners.
Listen, did y'all just? Yeah, have you seen the?
They just got a big boost to the economy for the record.
I'm gonna send you the Facebook, the Minneapolis Crime. If you ain't following on Minneapolis Crime page, they have definitely been monitoring this situation from the very beginning, and they have all the arrests as they come out. You just watch the names come through and you realize where they're from, and you go, oh, okay, all right, well, I see what y'all doing. And he ain't lying. They rounding them up. That little operation, whatever they just started last month too, couple months, because it's brand new. It's like a month or two old. And they have deployed these damn feds around here.
Oh no, the operation ain't a month or two old. The operation ain't. Listen, the operation is right. The operation is 25 years. 25 years old. This operation started with negotiations with Somalia to take refugees. That's when this is the operation. As soon as they started the negotiations and started putting people on planes and bringing them to America, this was the plan.
Well, this phase of the plan kicked off about 2 months ago. And they have sent our National Guard away. to Somalia.
Look, the United States military has contingencies for, and the State Department has contingencies for their contingencies. They planned all of this shit from day one when they from Black Hawk down, probably, because that was what, 90 something or 80 something. That was 90
The
something.
exact same time.
That was Clinton, right?
90s and 80s, something like that. Let me
Was
look
that
at
was
it.
that
Let me
under
double
Clinton?
check. Black Hawk Down.
I think it was under George H.W. Bush, but I may be wrong.
Let's see the helicopter. Not the movie. The movie came out in 01.
Oh, if the movie came out in 01, it happened within the last 10 years. It was under Clinton.
I'm looking at helicopter. Thank you. So this thing don't make it look like the 70s.
The 70s?
No, hold on. That's me being nosy. 93.
Yeah, that's under Clinton.
Yep, 93. So they've been putting this shit. Yeah, that's about the time they start bringing these motherfuckers here too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they ain't shit.
Okay, we got you. Oh, we couldn't come over there with a couple units. Oh, we got you.
Oh.
Let's build this 30-year case. And now we fully justified in going and completely taking over Somalia and making it our satellite in the Horn of Africa. That's the 30-year plan.
Yo, that's it right there. That's our gateway. China going to try and go in and buy Africa. We just going to go in and take that shit.
Exactly. We've already built the military bases. All we got to do is outfit them now.
Which would explain why he abruptly pulled back off of the motherfucking Middle East shit.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't no need to be there. We in the Horn, bitch. We can pop you in there. Oh, they dirty.
Mm-hmm. And no, this is to now we finna get Africa. You don't see the move? We gotta compete with China in Africa. It's gonna be Somalia. Then they're gonna stabilize Ethiopia. Move down into Kenya. And again, 30-year plan.
So in this 30-year plan, they kill two birds in one stone. Get rid of their Negro problem and their Somali problem all at the same time. And while we playing games, what was then the plan with the Liberians? Because they done mixed in Ethiopians, Liberians, Nigerians.
Well, they all part of that same plan, right?
That's the African Union.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting. Agenda 2063. Okay.
Hey, but look at who they're sending over there to fight that war, to come back all maimed up and butchered and whatnot.
Yeah, us.
No,
Who? The immigrants?
the immigrants.
Yeah, oh yeah, because immigration is like the military service is the number one pathway to citizenship. You get put at the head of the list if you're in the military.
Yep. So that's another reason why they're really beefing up this immigration thing. I think it's has something to do with these wars that are planned to it.
I bet you they ain't let no Somalis join the military. That wasn't an option for them. They just put them in the projects. Let them run loose. That's why they let them run loose out there. So they can build up their terrorist cells. And they sit there and watch them send money for the last 30 years. They've been watching them send them money for the last 30 years. Probably a lot of the heroin trade is driven.
They got a plug on that fentanyl. Them blue pills, they got a plug on that fentanyl.
No, that's the government.
I'm telling you, these folks.
Somalis don't know how to make pills.
Listen, I don't know what the hell they got going on, but they sprung out on that shit.
That's directly
Got
the
them
government.
toe up.
That's
got them
directly the
towed up.
government.
It been
Yeah.
looking like crack for the last year and a half. I told you. I said, well, I don't know what the fuck they got going on out here, but this shit look like crack to me.
That fentanyl shit is completely and totally the fucking CIA. That's COINTELPRO. Ain't nobody out here making no fucking pills. Fuck out
But
of here.
these Somalians and shit is using the fuck out of it. And they got them out here half-ass crazy. They shooting up every motherfucking thing. I'm telling you, this shit's real bad. They stealing cars like 40 going north. Man, listen, carjacking folks, beating up people and robbing them, robbing stores and shit. I mean, this is fucking insane. And they in our community.
Taking Somalia is going to be like taking candy from a baby, because the Somalians were so stupid. Instead of building up the Bantus and making them stronger and integrating them into the society, they chose to try and starve them out. So now you've got millions of people that are willing to work with the United States against the Somalia authorities and regime. And yeah, that's just going to be crazy. It's going to be so easy to go in there and plus the terrain. It's not like Afghanistan and all that, where you got all these mountains and all that other type shit. It's basically
it's more like Iraq.
Flatlands.
It's more like Iraq that we ran through like it was butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be about a 2, but we got to understand that a part of the calculation here is losing American soldiers, because they can't escalate till somebody die. They in there now for a search mission to get the other sides of these terrorist cells, but they know who they dealing with, the fucking Somalis. So somebody gonna shoot at them. Once they escalate, we escalate. Somebody dies, and the fucking everybody get called out. One of us die. It don't matter if some of them die.
Well, if this goes down the way that we're estimating or guesstimating, then I think that the Bantu stand a really good chance of becoming more prominent in Somalia.
Oh yeah,
when dust settles.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
If they willing to participate with us. But that depends on their willingness too. I don't know much about the Bantu people. I know about Somalis. Unfortunately, Somalis showed me who they are. I'll reset the room real quick. Why is their Holocaust more important than yours? That's the reset. Share the room. Because we run around here talking about other people's Holocaust, and this has been our habit as Black Americans. Every time something happened to somebody, we run around and raise money and give money to save them from their Holocaust, not realizing that our impending Holocaust has been happening for 400 years. And we almost at the cliff. That's the part we don't get. It's way worse than it feels.
This is really a great room. What's interesting about that too is that we're trying to say people who've already been restituted for their losses, so-called losses, which is really interesting to me. Yesterday, I didn't know what was going on with Ye, and so I frequent the mortgage syndicate room, for real estate, whatever. And the interesting about that room is I was in that room several weeks ago where they were doing really like a pep talk kind of thing. And this white Hispanic guy with like 30,000 followers gets up there and he proceeds to give, advice to realtors about how to, ramp up their businesses. But then he slipped up in there and you shouldn't be waiting for reparations. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, where did that come from? Right. And then yesterday, with the thing that happened with Yee, the brother was in there going off. I mean, he was flipping out like crazy over what Yee has said. I mean, he was going at it. People couldn't get a word in edgewise. And, just fighting for these people, right? And so he goes on to say, and all of Yee's followers are black and they're idiots. And I was like, wait, what? So this is a brother in a room full of other people, right, telling them that all blacks are idiots. And
so imagine how much business he got.
Yeah.
From that.
Yeah.
That's what we got to remember. The motivation is for the pandering for this is that, they need those voices. They pay very well for the voices that will condemn our liberation, our total liberation from everybody. Because when we say liberation and they say liberation, and we mean different things because somebody else signs the back of their check. See, people don't really want freedom. Like, freedom means that not only are you like free from stuff, but you're also responsible for all your own shit, right? Freedom means not having a job that one of those people signs your checks. That's what freedom means. That's what liberation means. It means that you are totally responsible for making sure that food is on the table and that the lights is on. And you can't just show up at work every day and be ensured that you get a check every 2 weeks. That's what freedom is. That's what liberation is. It's taking full and total responsibility, and that's where people are really balking at. It's not about the people themselves. It's about the fact that the people that we're talking about signed their checks. They don't want freedom because freedom would mean abandoning that and making the decision for yourself. Go ahead, whoever that is.
No, I was clapping with my mic. Is your own point, and I know very much what that looks like. But I'm into astrology and other things like that. But I see how the trajectory for me was like, get her out of that job, make her work for herself. And even these people with the job that I left, they still stalk me and follow me, trying to, undercut me in my deals. And I'm still, I'm still here. I'm still standing. So it's like, and these are people that look like me doing the work for them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I know very much what that looks like, because a lot of us, we deal with our Holocaust as a whole, but we also have our own personal Holocaust that we're dealing with as well. You know what I mean? So, right. It's not easy, but guess what? You cannot put a price tag on your liberation and your freedom. You just cannot. And I remember when I left that establishment, I felt like I was being muffled. And I was in the church at that time, and I felt muffled double time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the purpose of institutions is to muffle you. And so the institution isn't going to let you be you. The institution is going to try to create something that pushes forth itself. Right? That's why we have to create our own institutions. If you join somebody else's stuff, don't expect your version of things to be the version that, unless by some miracle you agree with whoever's running shit 100%. Right? But with you that stifled feeling means that we need to find people that have those same values and agree and start building our own institutions based on those set of values.
Yeah, absolutely. We have to find our true tribe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because there are people out here that resonate with you. You know what I'm saying? There may be people in those institutions that resonate with you. I also believe that it's important for you to be vocal about when planning to leave, about what you believe, right, and how things should be the analysis, right, and even not even pushing yours particularly, but that everybody have their engage in critical analysis. Everybody question their beliefs. right? About themselves, about this system, about the institutions that they join, right? And do a real cost benefit analysis of how it really is affecting your life. If you've been a part of an institution that has not advanced your material benefits, then why are you a part of that institution? Material can mean spiritual as well.
And let me tell you, our children are more at risk being a part of those institutions than they're not, than you not being a part of those institutions, because there is a constant threat against your children when you are. So, like I said, and a lot of times when we're waking up, we might still be in that little slumber, but we start to wake up a little bit just here and there, and we might say something. They know that because they have key words to label you. Oh, that's the troublemaker.
Right. Look, I thrive on being a troublemaker. I arrive at institutions letting people know, if y'all don't want trouble, you don't want me here.
Right.
Like look, I'm going to criticize everything you put in my face. That's who I am. I criticize myself on a constant basis. All of my thoughts get a critical analysis before they come out of my mouth, for the most part.
Yeah, but you also have to be careful too and ask the questions of who you're talking to, talking about that skin thing. Because you want to know as much about the person you're talking to know where they're coming from. Because a lot of us have been conditioned and we are lock, stock, and barrel in this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we do have to ask more questions when we are communicating with people. So that's why I sit back for a while and I just listen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you gotta know your landscape before you start throwing bombs, right? And in some institutions aren't worth trying to change. Like some people have a hold, the leadership has a hold on their people, and that's not going to change. So yeah, you have to be calculating in where you invest your energy in trying to change people. You know what I'm saying? I think most of the times, if you like, it's when you're talking about church, you find a liberal or progressive church and you shake their ass, because they pride themselves on how woke, quote unquote, that they is. Speaking of that word woke, it don't mean shit to me. I lay in the bed woke for at least half an hour before I get up. You ain't doing shit, you just awake. So you're aware of the surroundings, but you have not yet to do anything about it. It's not even move. You haven't gotten out of the bed, you haven't brushed your teeth, you haven't washed your ass, you haven't taken your first shit. I'm sorry, I did that out of order. You just woke. That don't mean shit. I'm aware. So the fuck what? Now what? If you're not active, then woke don't mean shit. If you have knowledge and you're not sharing that knowledge or acting on that knowledge, what the fuck are you doing? What I love about King, my brother King that was here earlier, is that he share all the tea. Yeah, do it just this way. I try to do the same thing, only I get paid to do it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Why even care about who you say what around? Because at the end of the day, they watch how we move, whatever space you're in. And if they can't indoctrinate you, they have a problem with you anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So why do we even care?
Yeah, they gonna move you out of the
space. Our
space.
truth. Huh?
Right. They gonna move you out of the space if you don't become a follower one way or the other.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So why should we care about what we say and who we say around it? Because they watch how you move anyway. And if they not able to indoctrinate you, they already pegged you as a troublemaker, whether you pretty much silent or not, because they can't indoctrinate you, and especially if they know you have a brain. You're smart.
Right. If you critically analyze shit.
They watch you to see how easy it is to get others to follow you and who gravitate towards you. So I'm asking the question, why do we care? They're indoctrinating our children in grammar school with these little clubs and groups, and I had to set that down when she's now 21 in UIC, But I had to shut that down in grammar school
Mm-hmm.
when she came home talking about these different ideology that clearly will have her advocating against her own self-interest when she become an adult.
Right.
So I question again, why do we care
Because
about what we say around and who we say around to?
because
Who we
that's
say
what
around.
because of who signs most of our checks.
Oh, that's what made me become a business owner. Okay, got it.
Exactly. Because of who we sell our labor to. I don't know. I don't want to question people's values. And I've always said your values ain't where your money comes from, but where it goes. Right? But your principles are where your money comes from. And if you're willing to have to kiss somebody's ass in order to maintain where your money comes from, you don't have very many principles. You may have good values. Your money may go to good places. You could be very well be funding this reparations movement, and there are those doing it. I ain't getting none of that money. But there are people who are paying those of us who are working for our work, right? But they're still scared, and they'll still try to fight against us when we tell these truths about these small hat people, because of where their money comes from, right? They don't have the principles that's willing to take the L if necessary in order to speak truth. I say to most people, the vast majority of people, anything that you're doing for somebody else, you can do for yourself, or be the middleman for other people, and run your own business doing it.
And that's true because absolutely everything is a business. Everything.
Look, a cashier ain't nothing but a medium of exchange, and you can literally be an online cashier and make a whole lot more money than standing for 8 hours a day. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to set it up, but I know it's possible because it's not my thing. There's no job that you do that you can't be doing right now sitting in your house as a consultant. That means you own your time and you decide your wages. And look up the average fees of a consultant in any field. Choose your field. Then put consultant behind it. And what that person has done, with or without certification, they have learned the codes and how to navigate the codes of that particular field. The good ways and the bad ways, quote unquote, the loopholes. Like King was talking about earlier when it came to real estate. So if you are an underwriter for somebody, or an auditor for somebody, or an inspector for somebody, you can be that thing and own your own business doing it. An engineer for somebody, and then you don't have to kiss nobody's ass and you can say what the fuck you want to say. But it requires risk, and this is what all of this is about: risk avoidance. And most people are risk avoiding. A lot of people talk a big game about what they'll do for liberation until it's time to be free. I did the shit back in 2014. I said in 2014, I'm not working for another motherfucker for a check again in my life. I am not signing another W-2, and I have not signed a W-2 since 2014. I-9 until
I
2020.
signed a W-2, but it's for my company.
Hey, that's different. You signed it you employed yourself. That's completely different. But I was an
It's your
I-9.
name on the check.
I was an I-9 employee
On the front and the back.
until 2020. No, just cut me the check and fill out that I-9 form for me. Thank you, appreciate it. Because I knew what skills I brought to the table. I knew people was willing to pay for it. And I also knew that most people want you to do it once. They don't want to pay payroll. That means you got to stay busy on your hustle finding new people to do it for and create a contract to do it for them once a year. Because it ain't shit but 6 hours worth of work. Y'all know it. I know it. You bill 24.
That's why this push for the unions and stuff is so strong these days, and employing people, because a lot of people have woken up and pretty much realized now they call themselves gig workers. No, I'm doing this for myself, and so now they can't get people back. Well, they did it. They shouldn't have put COVID on them. And people learned while they were sitting at home that they can make money themselves from their house and make more money than they actually were making when they were working for someone.
Yeah. The employment gap isn't an employment gap, it's a pay gap. You ain't paying enough. You're not willing to pay enough. And you're going to have to get a consulting firm to provide those services. That's what's going to have to happen. Because the dude that you going for, that you're trying to get that job, he started him a consulting firm offering those services, those accounting services. Oh, you want to account it? Okay, hire my firm. You want logistics? Okay, hire my firm.
And they knew it, so that's why they changed all these laws to pretty much make sure that small companies do not pretty much survive.
Well, the key to that is go straight to the government with it and make sure that you got the paperwork right.
No. Well, that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Right. So not like now. You have to have, even if you have part-time workers, right? Seasonal workers, you have to have so much, you know what I'm saying, in the account for these now I'm not talking about permanent people. Part-time occasional people. I was like, oh, look at here. I just started smiling at stuff like, look at this.
So you gotta have.
When we wake up one way, they pretty much write policy and laws to put a noose around our neck again.
So suddenly we need escrow to run a business.
Basically, yes. And you got to have sick pay, X amount of hours of sick pay for each part-time, not permanent worker, part-time worker you have.
This Illinois law or this federal law? This federal law?
This is Illinois law, but I'm trying to see if they try to mandate it all across the board. Because that's what they usually do.
It sounds like some Illinois law type shit. It's probably already like that. I'm a sole proprietorship. I consult. I hire consultants myself. I don't do the employee thing. I-9 they asses. You hear me?
Oh no, what's finna happen is I'm finna outsource.
Just I-9 labor.
I've been teaching people how to get their business licenses and a workman's comp as owner operator, all of that. And that's what's finna happen.
That's the game. Teaching people the game is now the game. That's a part of the game that we missed. We did like we sent people into specialties instead of teaching people how to teach the game. In general. Fuck the contract. Fuck which kind of contract you get. How do you get a government contract? Ain't nobody teaching that out here. I just finished 2 RFPs.
That's why I'm opening up this center in Chicago for section. It's pretty much going to be geared toward catering to Section 3 businesses.
Yep.
And there's be a place that they can come pretty much get contracting opportunities because another Section 3 business may need the workforce help. Hey, y'all partner up, make this a sub of yours and get going.
Yep. And the key part of it, though, is getting the paperwork right. Understanding the assignment.
Oh, it include back office help because that's what most of our people know how to do the work, but they do not
put out how brilliant and outstanding our staff is what we do, right? But we don't read the RFP and see what they want. You have to tell them exactly what they want to hear in order to get that contract. And that wording, what they want to hear, is written down in the request for proposals. It is written down in the grant proposal. You take their language, and this is a one that I shouldn't be giving away. You copy and paste their shit. If you want a grant, you copy and paste what they want that grant to do into and add language, but you make sure you add language around their exact language in the shit that they want to do. Because it's hard, but it's easy, just like anybody else, especially when you learn how to do it. It's only hard the first couple of times. And there's always grants. There's always a government grant for every issue you want to deal with. Well, it depends on where you are. You might have to
organize. Let me ask you, so a person that, or group or whatever that issues a grant, if the entity that's getting the grant doesn't meet the, like they get the grant, but they don't live up to the grant, what recourse does the issuer have?
Probably there's a clause that makes you pay it back.
Mm-hmm.
Say that part again.
There's
About issuing the grant, what kind of recourse? Say that part again.
Yeah, I was asking, so like the person that, or the group, the entity that issues the grant, right? They have certain stipulations as to how that grant can be spent. And once the party gets the grant, you know, if they spend that grant in ways other than what's stipulated, what recourse does the issuer have?
They can pretty much, they have to pay it back, or they find themselves in, it all depends on where the money come from. They'll find themselves in trouble. People have went to jail for
fraud.
$5,000 mishandling of $5,000.
Yeah, it's fraud. If you spend the money fraudulently, then you get a fraud charge.
Now, we're not talking about now pretty much spending it on your luxury cars and the house and stuff. Oh, you going to jail, right? But if you pretty much you misunderstood the ways of how you are supposed to be using this grant, they'll give you a chance to pay it back.
Yeah. But the key to that, because everybody has their own goal when it comes to getting a grant, and that goal is not going to match the grant goal. The grant goal will be very general. They might use a lot of language to say some very general shit, but it will be very general, right? You can pursue your goals and the grant's goals at the same time using the grant's money, as long as none of your goals are totally contrary to the grant's goals. If you want a violence prevention grant, you can get a violence prevention grant and teach about lineage. Knowing that we all family, I'm pretty sure it goes toward violence prevention. That's a part of your angle. You ain't even got to say that in a grant, though. I wouldn't mention lineage in any grant, y'all, for the record. That's the word they're scared of. That's the one they didn't want us to know. Lineage, legacy. So don't mention that in your grant. But you can teach it. Because there ain't gonna be nothing in your grant, in no grant on the planet that says you cannot teach about lineage and legacy. So we can go for grants for stuff that we really do want to do. To feed the homeless, to study for reparations. That's one of the grants I'm going for now, is for a pilot program study. It's not, that's actually a request for services, program manager. But yeah, and you do the thing that they ask you to do and follow all the guidelines, but you also teach people about, you pass out your literature with whatever you're doing, about the information you want them to know about. You're not breaking no rules. When you have your meetings, you talk about, because if it's a grant about like feeding the homeless, there's not much meeting to that. Hey, we gonna get together, we gonna collate this food, and we gonna feed the homeless. But you have meetings about lineage, about civic action. If you are 501c3, you have the right to advocate for policy, period, with no exceptions. What you don't have the right to do is advocate for a specific candidate or a specific political party. But any policy that you want to pursue, and I'm sure that there's a policy if you're trying to feed the homeless, there are policies that you need to pursue in order to prevent the homelessness in the first place. So you teach them about lineage, and you teach them how to push policy. You teach them policy analysis. All of this using the grant money that was made to feed the homeless. Because some of that grant money is good for meetings and community outreach and community outreach materials like handouts and brochures. And there, in that handout and brochure, there is language about feeding the homeless, and there is language about lineage, and a drafting, analysis, and pushing of policy. And the grant paid for it. Then you read my book and do all the stuff I said in there. I do consult with grants and RFPs. Inbox me. It's not free. I gotta eat. It consumes time, and time is money. Reset. Why is their Holocaust more important than yours? Why are you talking about their Holocaust more than you're talking about your own Holocaust? Your Holocaust is ongoing. Their Holocaust ended in 1945. So why are we talking about that and not us? Why aren't they shamed for negative references to your Holocaust? Why don't they lose money? Why they don't have to sit down and follow six steps in order to get their jobs back? So on that note, the CEO of Amazon said that the quote-unquote anti-Semitic film will not be removed from Amazon. And my question is, will the 6 steps be followed in his case? Will they demand his suspension? He's just a CEO. A CEO is only an employee. Will they go to Amazon board and demand his suspension, and that he show that he cares about their community? Or is that only for black men? I think that's only for black men. That's another thing about it, is that these rules are only for black men. It's raining in Southern California, y'all. It's crazy. Tony lied to us.
Well, in defense of Tony, he did say that's what they tell them.
That is true.
In defense of them brothers right there called Tony. Shout out to Tony for an amazing run in the music industry. I really do dig what they had to offer.
Ain't Raphael Sadiq from up there?
I heard, I haven't never really thoroughly looked, but that has always been the conversation. Shout out to them brothers right there. This room, these conversations we're having with the Holocaust surviving descendants, and I'm gonna just only claim them because the rest of them folks should not even be speaking on said Holocaust because they're not the descendants thereof, so they wouldn't be able to say what is and is not appropriate in that community. Or at least that's what they say to us when we try to, speak on their shit. And then they also tell us how we have to learn they shit. But I'm still waiting on them to learn the truth about their participation in our shit. Because let's not just talk about the boats that chatteled Africans. Y'all know they owned a lot of shit over here that encompassed enslaving folks, like insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not act like they didn't insure the bodies of our ancestors.
Yeah, that's what J.P. Morgan Chase got his seed money. Lehman Brothers.
Yeah.
Lehman. Lehman.
Mm-hmm. But they don't want to act like we're supposed to care about that. We're not supposed to say how they also made their fortunes, their diamonds, and their golds off the bodies of our ancestors. I'm not supposed to feel a way about that. I'm supposed to hate Hitler and not hate them. I just, the Lord said, now they supposed to be so motherfucking righteous. The Lord said that if you don't forgive, you won't be forgiven. Ain't that what the word say?
Mm-hmm.
Forgive so that thou shalt be forgiven.
That's not their word, though.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why I think my God is better. That's where that takes us. We never going to see eye to eye with these people because I serve a totally different God. My God said, I know them by their fruits, and God is love. And if I'm made in the image of him, then that means what? I'm love. I'm the walking embodiment of love. And if I'm the walking embodiment of love, how can I hate anyone? Even Hitler himself. They prove daily that they are not the children of God. We don't have to say that. The word says you'll know them by their fruit.
Yeah, for God.
And you can't have the fruit of hate and think I'm supposed to believe you're the children of God.
Neither forgiveness nor love are tenets of their religion. Not for love for all mankind, at least. Love for each other, maybe, but not love for all mankind.
Interesting. You're right, because they believe that they are supposed to be served by a lesser people.
Yeah, love your neighbor as yourself. That's all Jesus, and they don't really do Jesus.
Yeah, they don't do Jesus. So at this point, what's that leave us to preclude, my brother? I mean, how am I supposed to be mad at Kanye for love when the actual alternative is support them in their hate? You want me to shun Kanye and love while supporting them in their hate? Wow.
Y'all want to hate Hitler and love Joe Biden, and I don't understand. Joe Biden has put more of us in concentration camps.
Hello, sorry.
Hey. Yeah, you was loud. Uh,
Hey, thanks for bringing me back up, Faye. My arm got tired down there, man.
oh
I had
shit,
my hand up so damn long.
I ain't even.
Hey, what's up?
Like that's the point of moderating more than one person. It's so that.
Yeah, nah.
How did you end up in the bottom?
I don't know. I got moved down.
Are y'all toasting the rise of your boy Hakeem Jeffries? The
Man.
Israeli.
You see his Israel speech?
Oh yeah. He goes to APAC and really clowns for the butter biscuits. Yeah,
Yeah, I ain't got time.
he's a darling.
Who is King Jeffrey?
Hakeem
Jeffries.
Oh, Hakeem, the congressman
Yeah, the new speaker,
Yeah.
the temporary new speaker of the House.
out of Minnesota. Is he out of Minnesota?
No,
New York.
New York.
Yeah. No, Dr. Leonard Jeffries is his uncle. I guess surprisingly to a lot of folks, but yeah, that's his uncle, Dr. Leonard Jeffries. No, Dr. Leonard Jeffries, he kind of espouses a lot of the same ideologies. Dr. Franz Cressus Welsing. He got in trouble with some of the white folks with his Iceman theories and stuff, but he didn't back down. But that's his uncle.
Iceman meaning Neanderthal and Cro-Magnon.
Yeah. He caught a lot of heat for that. But Hakeem don't seem to be nothing like him though.
Oh no, he a whole Democrat. I'm gonna call him a Democrat.
Yeah,
he's a Democrat first.
Yeah, the Pan-Africanists love him because he's pushing that HR 40.
Well, I think that HR 40 is just a study. And I don't think the language of the study as much as the direction of the study matter. I think that we should be putting ourselves in a position, and I am trying to with the one firm I'm working with, we should be trying to put ourselves in a position to be the people impaneled, right? We should be building these institutions. I know, is April still here? Yeah, I know April is doing that work of establishing our research credentials. Not academic credentials, because they can't create academic credentials for an educationally deprived people, and then say that they're building something for us. But building up their credentials as nonprofits and institutions that we just built because we just became aware of this, but we started this conversation in the first place, so we don't want to hear it. And so that when it comes down to it, because I'm glad that HR 40 took so long at this point. If HR 40 hadn't taken so long, then in COBRA it would be impaneled with the Pan-Africans. I'm glad that it sat dormant for 40 years until we rediscovered it, because otherwise reparations would look like something that wouldn't benefit us at all in the long run.
They say the Lord always has good times. We may not know why. I believe in Romans 8:28. It's just something that I have always, it's a scripture that stick close to my heart. All things work together for the good.
Yep, Romans 8:28.
And it's just one of them things. Kanye gonna have to go through what Kanye gotta go through. We're gonna have to go through what we gonna have to work through, and it's all gonna work to the good. It was absolutely perfect that Barack Obama asked them people not to present HR 40 during his term. It was absolutely brilliant to have a resolution in the House and the Senate that admits the wrongdoing yet does not provide economic equity or compensation. Because these things can now be used to show all the damn wrongs that they doing, including this bullshit with these militaries and the taking over lands and the genocide. And we can keep going. They gonna owe forever. They keep playing.
Well, they do owe forever. And that's what we really got to establish is, look, I don't really want a number on reparations. You owe till we say you done owing. How about that? You owe until we're whole. Fuck a number. You owe until them wealth numbers match. Fuck a number. You owe until there is not a homeless Black American, there is not a poor Black American, and that every Black American has a legacy to pass on to their kids. You owe until that.
Well, I mean, it was just disturbing to see how people wanted to portray that the Black American Holocaust did not exist. Like it was downplayed to the point. Like, yeah, I know that you guys, you got slavery and shit. But I mean, we all been enslaved. I mean, my ancestors were enslaved and put in shackles and put in gas chambers and internment camps, and we just got free a few years back. Like, bitch, we ain't been free.
So Normandy, what he said in the chat, doesn't seem to understand that the genocide of quote unquote Native Americans and American Indians includes reclassification and slavery.
Yeah, like that's the part I didn't get. Like, let's keep it a being. The American Indians who of the past signed the original treaties may or may not be the people on these reservations. What we do know is
I don't want to go down
there's
the
too
rabbit
much to
hole.
go on,
I just want to
and
clarify.
these Black American people, we don't know who we are.
Some of us do. But I don't want to go down the rabbit hole. I'm just saying that when you mention the indigenous or whatever peoples, whatever, you need to go see the treaties.
Yeah.
Or you're talking to them. It's one or the other.
Yeah. I mean, I got a treaty signing. I got one on my ancestry. I sure do.
But that's been handled. It's not our fault that they're negotiating. Negotiators weren't that good.
It wasn't, it ain't our fault that they were swindled. Like, we've been being swindled and bamboozled for hundreds of years. It's still going. Our genocide is ongoing. Our genocide is the longest in history.
When people come in these spaces talking about they were enslaved, I always ask them, where in the United States? Because that's what the fuck we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You were enslaved in the United States,
the United
you need to go
States.
Set up your own room.
Right, or by the United States, right?
By
the United States.
Because one thing that the United States never did as a country was facilitate slavery on another landmass, right? So you have a bunch of European countries that facilitated slavery in places like the Caribbeans, mostly, right? Brazil, South America, like some of Central America. Y'all cases with them. Yeah, you slavery. If you're white, you're then more than likely that's with another European country, right? Yeah, the Irish. If the Irish were enslaved, you need to holler at the British. Ain't no Americans do that. Ain't no Americans enslaved. No Irish. No time in American history. Now, if the British colonists before they became Americans brought you over as indentured service, that's between you and them. But they did not enslave, no Americans enslaved any Irish at any point in American history. And quite frankly, y'all came here and ran from your indentured servitude. That's the truth of it. You came here and broke your fucking contracts. Because those were temporary, there's a difference. Indentured servitude is a contract. Slavery is not a contract. Ain't nobody ever signed on for lifelong labor in the history of mankind.
Wait, organizer, wait. Some of these bootlicking ass niggas' granddaddies did. It's proof in the records. They was asking for it. Dog, you will be amazed.
Oh, you talking about sharecroppers and stuff like that?
No. There was people walking onto military encampments like, yo, take me back to my master.
Oh shit.
I've been a runaway for this long. I ain't doing this shit no more. Hey, and if you really want to, you can go get the rest of them niggas over there because I don't give a fuck about if they stay free. I
Look,
was like, wait, what?
again,
Let me tell you this shit. Some of these bootlicking ass niggas come from stock that turn niggas in. I just wanted to put it out.
that's true. And again, a lot of people say they want to be free, but don't know what freedom is and couldn't handle it if they got it. They couldn't handle not maybe getting a contract for 4 months and having to spread out their money and not splurging because they got a $30,000, $40,000 check. Not going crazy that first month, first week. They couldn't handle that. So everybody ain't built for freedom. And everybody shouldn't be talking about it. And so be quit run around here capping that you out here fighting for liberation, bro. Because sometimes they get hard when you free. Because ain't nobody coming to assist. When you free, you don't get unemployment. Now, when we free, when reparations gets us free, we're not gonna need unemployment. So that's a different conversation to have. It's still gonna be people who can't handle their freedom, and I'm afraid that if they reject the mental health services that the government will make available as a part of the reparations package, that we're gonna have to let them go. That's the last thing I'm gonna say about them. But freedom ain't easy. Getting free ain't easy, and maintaining it ain't easy.
Hey, Oregon.
Hey, you know the best mental health service is an example. Like even in Byberry, when they had Byberry back in Pennsylvania, sometimes they would let the other patients see the one patient being shocked, damn near to death. And as crazy as them motherfuckers were, they straighten up. Sometimes the best therapy is an example. Make an example out of some fucking body. All the crazos are straighten up. They'll sit in a corner twitching, but they ain't gonna overrun the madhouse.
That's that human instinct for survival, self-preservation, right? And it don't matter how crazy you are. It's animal. Actually, it's not even human. Everything, anything that you punish, that you publicly punish, and the pack is going to they'll regard you as the person in charge. That's how that works. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be, yeah, if necessary. I don't like speculating again on the worst case scenarios. I don't think it will much matter. I don't think. See, capital has an outsized influence on human behavior, right? We know this. Money has an outside human influence on why people do what they do. Most of the reason that people are capping for the Jews right now is because of money. Because for some reason the Jews are in charge of money, but the victim at the same time. So with that going, say once we get reparations, we are going to be much less subject to the opinions of others. Like there's no reason, like the opinions of others, the vast majority of the time, if they're negative, they've been based on our poverty or the symptoms of said poverty. All of the mental illness that we're dealing with right now are symptoms of poverty. You know what I'm saying? When the reparations ends poverty, a lot of those symptoms just stop displaying. Now, the motherfuckers who have been driven crazy by this shit need therapy, need mental health. I am medicated. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it was racism that drove me crazy, but something did. Right? So everybody needs to be evaluated, quite honestly, I think. Because PTSD is a motherfucker. And when you black in America, you probably have it. And don't know you have it. Have anxieties that you ain't addressing. Have insecurities that you've never talked about. Because you black in America. So when you encounter an opportunity, you'll talk yourself out of it. because you black in America and something in your head says, oh, no, they're not going to give it to you anyway. I had to walk my team through their self-doubt just based on their blackness in America. Because I don't have that shit no more. Except for my mental fucking illness. Which is that, right? I'm black in America. Like motherfuckers expect me to fucking fail. That shit'll drive you crazy. Black man in America. I know I'm fucking great. Motherfuckers expect me to fail. And it be your own people. Expect you to fail. No, go get a job. You sure you're gonna be able to? They ain't rooting for you to fail. They believe in you, quote unquote, but they don't. But that's conditioning, because we black in America. Black in America is being the best qualified and being passed over, and that sits in the back of every single one of our minds. Everybody under the sound of my voice understands if you black in America. Being worried that just because you black, you see a white boy that showed up in his secondhand suit. Or just because you black and you want to get out there in business ownership. But everybody in industry white. Or another ethnicity that's not yours. Ain't nobody else carrying this baggage on this planet that's coming here. Ain't nobody else coming into the world. And our first awareness, our first awareness of society is racism. If we're black in America. If you came up like I came up, or any way close to where I came up, because my mama was more quote unquote woke than most. You know what I'm saying? But if you came up anywhere near of a person with if anybody with situational awareness helped to raise you, that your first encounter with the world was in making you aware of racism. No, baby, they different. No, baby, this would be different for you. You watching TV as a child. No, baby, don't expect that outcome. They might not have told you why. This is why a lot of us are crazy, because the whys weren't there. This is why a lot of people go red-wing conservative, because they didn't get the whys, they just got the truths, and so they just rejected the truth. Like, no, that just can't be true. Because nobody knew the whys. The why was, oh, you got to be responsible. Oh, you gotta work harder. You got to be twice as good to get half as much. That was the only why we were given. The word systemic racism were not a thing when I was growing up. When they erased the Black Panthers, they stopped talking about the system. So you was either raised by crackheads or you were raised by conformists.
And that's really what it boiled down to. You was either a Pan-African or a crackhead, and most times you was both.
Or you were corporatized. Your parents were corporatized, right?
Yeah,
your parents
and then
just
you were segregated.
Put their heads down and fight.
Because you weren't around us.
Right. Yeah, because you grew up in the suburbs and your parents, right. And so you got this bootstrap mentality because your parents did it as possible. But then you don't understand the pattern that's necessary. And if all of us do that, that places the ghetto again in the next 50 years because we haven't done the political work. Right? If all of us move out of the ghetto, not only is the new place going to be the ghetto in 50 years, But the old place is going to be gentrified and worth billions more than it was when you were there. Like, how do we talk about real estate investment and not see the hood as a good investment? The fuck is the most deflated property values on the planet? Nigga, war-torn Somalian blocks are worth more than war-torn Chicago blocks. That's why the military sending folk over there. But we want to escape that shit. I'm holding on to my mama's house for dear fucking life. I ain't got the money to rehab it right now. Luckily, we own it outright. We just got to pay the property taxes. Fuckers running from that neighborhood, not realizing a passenger, a transit train is about to come through that neighborhood. They don't do that for neighborhoods that they don't have plans for. It's going to be a stop 3 blocks away in both directions.
Hold on, time out, pause. I remember this plan back when I was a young junior city council girl. Do y'all know that this has been in the works in damn sure the 90s?
Oh, yeah.
Because this train has been in works from Minnesota through Wisconsin on to Chicago. Niggas first train.
Oh, no, I'm talking about that south side out my way. This is a
It's
city
gonna
plan.
come on. No, it's a city.
Oh, no, you talking about a different.
Plan,
No, you talking about a different train though. You talking about a different train system.
No, they're getting started. They put the infrastructure out because they're gonna connect all these.
But you talking about Amtrak? They finna put.
No. We got to.
Oh no, they already connected in Chicago. What you talking about is already connected in Chicago. You don't have to go outside to get from the Amtrak to the CTA.
No, not the Amtrak. This is a Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois thing.
Oh.
These niggas been in cahoots. That's why when you said that, it fucked me up because I know our shit is being built. I thought they scrapped the idea of taking one from here to Chicago. But hearing you say about this new infrastructure they're building for this train, this actually is exactly what they doing. They're going to really put this motherfucker in all 3 states. It's going to run from here to there, back and forth.
Yeah, and it's going to be towns built all along the sides of it.
All along this motherfucking state. These niggas have been planning this shit since the 90s to wipe our ass the fuck up out of here.
They've been planning this shit since the 60s, girl.
Oh my God.
Look, they built the projects with every intention. In Chicago, they built the projects with every intention of tearing them down 50 years later. That was a part of the plan. Now they working their way south, gentrifying the community, pushing the black people out to the suburbs, which are quickly becoming fucking ghettos. Because suburbs don't have the tax burden to the tax. They need businesses to pay the taxes in order to support their growing populations. And that's how a ghetto was created, by the way. A ghetto is, regardless of the etymology of the word, what it is it's a neighborhood without the financial infrastructure to fund the public works. Like all these people talking about building towns and this, that, and the other. I hope you have an industry. Because if you don't have an industry, you don't have a tax base. Ye did it right. Ye made Adidas build a factory on his land. He has an industry. He ain't talking about that part. He out on TV making, but he still. I wouldn't be surprised if that factory is going right now.
And he has went live from that factory multiple times. So yes, it is. It absolutely is. And he has switched all his Adidas product and took the monikers off and replaced it with Ye 2024 from everybody, including Balenciaga. That's what cracks me up when people say he supported Balenciaga. No, he took all his Balenciaga products and put Ye 2024 on it.
And for the first time, I might buy a Kanye product.
And he did
because that shit hella over.
Gave his money to white folks.
Shit is hella overpriced though, because we're not the target market for it, and we've never been a target market
No. His new
for his
product
products.
is like $20.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He trying to sell
He
stuff.
said he been wanting to do it this way. Them motherfuckers was greedy putting that price tag on it. That's why he threw the motherfucking shit in the
Well,
trash.
what
It
what
was
he needed
worthless to
what he
him.
needed more than anything else was the relationship for branding and legitimacy,
Yeah.
right? He needed the public to see, oh, Kanye has a relationship with Adidas. Kanye has and not only he did it so genius. Kanye then got out of his relationship with these people and produced his own shit because
And he
I
did it in
think
a way where he wasn't the bad guy.
not to us,
Because he was gonna be the bad guy either way.
right?
He couldn't have broke them relationships without being fucked either way. So at least he saved the people that mattered. Us. That was brilliant. I mean, it's a genius.
Yeah, and then that should be enough revenue for 2 or 3 cities because he building Yeverse or whatever.
Mm-hmm. He mad at him. And they mad at him talking about small gun. You're just trying to build a cult. You motherfuckers have 40,000 of it. Let's start with the motherfucking, what's some people called? The Amish?
Fuck
Go
that.
get them
What about
first.
the Amazon cult?
The Amazon cult. Let's talk about them people who live
Right?
in
What
the
about
damn IT
what about
buildings.
the Twitter cult that Elon is breaking up? That was
Yeah,
making $200,000 a year and they're complaining that he won't feed them lunch anymore.
yeah.
Like, yeah, damn it, we need cult. Cult is short for culture. We need cults. The
I
bigger
mean, I
the
just
fucking
don't
better.
understand why he can't have his own.
Man, he
People
can
who
afford it.
believe as he. I mean, I don't understand why they can't believe as they will. Well, I thought this was the land of free belief,
Organizer.
free religion.
What's up? Who was speaking?
It's Jonathan. Hey,
What's up, John?
good man. I'm gonna hit you up on the back channel. I was working out early when I was listening, but I'm gonna hit you up on the back channel on some of this RFP and grant shit that I got going.
For sure.
But yeah, I appreciate what.
Yeah,
what
I've been
you're doing,
meaning to
man.
get with you, Jonathan. You in Northern California, right?
Yeah, I'm in Northern Cal. Yep, I'm
Yeah.
in Northern Cal.
Yeah, we
Um,
definitely need to hook up. And if you need me to come up there, like I said, it's not free, but I Freedman get the Freedman discount.
Look, yeah, I mean, look, man, there's so much we can do on Zoom and online, and you'll come up when you need to. But I mean, not a problem. Like I said, I just wanna. I'm going after some fun, so I'll connect with you, man. We'll set some time up. I'll send you all my information on the back channel.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you,
Okay.
And shout out and good morning to brother Jonathan. How you doing?
Brother Jonathan.
What up, Danny?
Doing good work out there in Northern
Man,
California.
respect. Northern California kicking ass out here. Go ahead, Joe. I ain't mad at all. I'm watching you. I need some of that barbecue though while he playing.
Danny, no, look, man, I'm telling you, this work is real. But the other thing, Danny, I've been in these documents discovering, and the whole fraud that the government did, and that's why I don't know if you guys saw, but slowly all these articles are releasing about, one reparation payment, right? Talking about just the redlining.
Right.
We ain't got to the eminent domain and the cover up. I've been doing my little 60-second clips just so people see all the documents I got, the original documents my family signed, but we got this made up stuff that the government got behind. So when we start talking about the real repair, the government's responsible completely.
Yeah, Tara,
Crazy.
Jonathan? Tara Perry?
Doesn't sound familiar, no. Perry, no.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. We got to introduce you. She's a dynamo down here in LA. That's who I work with. So that's who I work on the RFPs and stuff with. So I got to introduce you. There's also Dawn Austin Page, who I work with. She's all the way over in North Carolina. She just actually got removed from the Asheville High Point reparations, and she's probably going to sue because she kind of went off about lineage-based reparations as it's her job. But she's also a member of our team, Black Pact.
The craziest thing is they're silencing the voices of the actual descendants, and that is insane to me.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I heard you guys talking earlier about the feeding program. I can tell you, I know that,
You're in the matrix, Jonathan.
All right, I'm back. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just saying that that feeding program. I'm the only local provider in California, small business, and Freedman uh, on the CalAIM process for medically tailored meals for the whole state.
Oh
Obviously,
wow.
I've got Sacramento, El Dorado, Placer counties, and I just got $180,000 in grant, but I applied for 2.5 million more for infrastructure money coming down through the feds
Okay.
and the state. But that being said, we can run this program from Northern California to Southern California, and I got the lock on culturally diverse ethnic foods. So
Yeah. What?
we can
Hey
talk more
man,
about
if
that.
I could get if I could get some capital for some staff, bro,
Yep.
because there ain't no setups, like there ain't no permanent setups to feed, and we got Skid Row down here, and it's people that's spending their money and maybe doing some crowdfunding or whatever, but ain't nobody spending no Fed money and no state money down here that's black, and we really do need to make that happen.
Okay, so we'll connect for some time. I know I got to drive down to the city today, so I'm heading back from the gym to get ready for that. But we'll connect because look, in my 2.5 million ask, I asked for the mobile food kitchens, two of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to. I'm not. We don't own our shit. I'm not going to go rent and lease nothing from nobody. Give me the two mobile food facilities for my counties, but um, we can set this thing down in LA too, and the healthcare providers are backing me. So I'm contracted with Anthem, HealthNet,
Oh
California
shit.
Health and Wellness, right? I'm contracted with all three of them, and then Kaiser's coming on board in 2024. So there's a bigger plan where I want to buy our food from Freedman Urban Farms, right? So look, I put together with the team, obviously, but I'd love to have you be a part of this
Oh, I would
as
love
we
to. Absolutely.
look to take Southern California, just the blueprint of how to get some of this repair money that we've been locked out of for the longest.
Okay, so what's
So
today? Today's Friday. You available this weekend for a Zoom?
I'm flying to Dallas, man. I got to go see my boys play.
Oh, okay. Just okay. Yeah,
But
just hit me up, man,
I'm gonna
and
hit you. Yeah.
whenever you available.
Okay, I'll hit you up though. All right.
All right, for
Good
sure.
looking. Okay.
Yeah, all right. That's why I'm on this app, bro. Because there's people out here doing real work, and we can hook up and get work done together and feed our people, bro. Like feeding the people. That's and it's not just feeding the people food, but feeding the people food is very important. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm finna like that plan I just told you about taking the government's money and feeding the people with it, but also teaching people. That's what we finna do. You feed people and give them information at the same time, that information is gonna stick. That's a psychological trick that y'all should know. They gonna think about that shit every time next time they have a hot dog. And if you're out there once a week or every day if possible, you feeding people and you giving them new information once every 2 weeks, and you facilitating discussions, the information that you're giving them, so they can get a more in-depth understanding. You're getting more people involved. You are building a movement, and it starts with feeding the people. And it's a lot of us that are feeding the people. That's a good start. Advocacy is a good start, but advocacy won't solve the problem. Only reparations will. Sorry, I'm putting the brother's information in my phone so we can do what needs to be done. So to reset, and I'm probably gonna close this out soon. What's up, Faye? You back, or you just listening? Well, let me see what Big A done pinged me into. I'll be back. Yeah, I'm finna shut this down and head to Big A room, so y'all can go to Big A room. Yeah, in fact, I'll put the what did you come up top? Yeah, I don't know how to do that. I'll be right back.